In this video, I'm going to show you how I am going to reverse engineer this new client's webinar funnel so that I can add KPIs before we launch the campaign. Okay. This is something that I highly recommend my private clients do their KPIs, because I see so many people who are running webinar funnels or VSLs or low ticket offers. And it doesn't matter what type of offer, this same framework that I'm going to show you guys in this video can work. Okay. I do this with every single private client who comes through my door. And so to give you guys just a little bit of background, I have the numbers from what they're getting right now organic. They do a lot of organic marketing, which I love because it gives us this data. Now, is this data going to work out the same way with paid ads? No, but we will have some target KPIs, which is going to be a good starting point. And I'm going to show you why, because I think there's going to be a couple of things in this video that's going to surprise you, okay? Because when people ask me, Laurel, what should my ad budget be if I am running a webinar? What should my ad budget be if I'm running a VSL, okay? So this particular client has a 10K done for you service. Okay. Now, every marketer's dream is to operate with a 2 times the return on ad spend, meaning for every dollar we're getting in, we're getting $2 out, right? Now, this is something that we're going to do with the base funnel. But once we kick in my client accelerator ecosystem with all of the omnipresent retargeting, we are going to get much less than 5K per sale. But for the sake of this video, this is how we're reverse engineering the base funnel. Okay, we can't add any retargeting or do anything until we have the base funnel numbers. Okay, so that's where we always start. So that's why I always recommend people who aren't making at least $15,000, $20,000 a month. I do not recommend the webinar with paid traffic route, because you're going to need cash flow. Now, this cash flow is going to work out if our numbers end up being the same. But just so you guys know, 2 times return on ad spend. So you can expect to spend $5,000 in order to get a 10K sale. Very good, right? But when people ask me, Laurel, what should my ad spend be? It should be the price of your offer, okay? Because really, ideally, we want 2 times the return on ad spend, but for this first initial test, we just need to break even, right? We don't want to lose any money. So we could spend $9,950 in order to get a 10K sale and still be profitable. That's what we want, okay? Now, the ultimate goal is 2 times the return on ad spend, so that's what we're going to base these numbers on, okay? Now, this is where I'm saying some of you guys are going to be surprised at what these numbers are, because you've never sat down and done the numbers. Maybe you don't know how to do the numbers, okay? So these are her call numbers as of right now with her organic method, okay? So her show up rate is 75% and her close rate is 30. That is pretty good. Now with cold traffic, there's some changes can be made, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so the first number we need to figure out is if we know our target return on ad spend is 2x. So we know we need to spend $5,000 in order to get one $10,000 sale. Now, again, are we going to try to make that better? Absolutely. And we will make that better, because that's what my ecosystem is built to do. Okay. Now, the way that we are going to figure this out, we want to know the cost per application that we should be shooting for. In order to do that, we are going to multiply our show up rate by our close rate, okay? Because we want to take into account some of the people who are not going to show up. So we don't just want to figure out the application cost for people who show up. We also want to, the people who are actually going to, we don't want to take into account 100% of the people who fill up the apps, because we have 75% show up. So that's why we put the 75% in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 0.75 times 0.30, which is the close rate. And that is going to give us, let's see, let me get my calculator, 0.75 times 0.30 is 0.225, 0.225, okay? So what we're going to do, if our goal per sale is to get $5,000 per sale, all we need to do is 0.225 times 5,000. We'll see what that is real quick. My calculator, 0.225 times 5,000. So as long as we are paying $1,125, that should work out, okay? So that is $1,125. Oops. Per app. Okay. Now, the next thing that we want, so now we know that our app goal is $1,125. Okay. Now, the next thing that we need to figure out is we want 10% of people who watch the webinar to fill out an app. Okay. So the next number, right? The next number that we need to figure out is what do we need to pay per webinar watch? So what we're going to do is we are going to take we're going to take 1125 and then times 0.10 equals 1125 times 0.10 is $112. Okay, I think it's $112.50. Let me double check that. Yep. Okay. So, okay. So now this is people who are making it to the offer, not necessarily the people who have pushed play. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay. So the next number that we need to figure out is what our cost per lead is going to be, right? So here we want 40% of opt-ins to watch the webinar. Okay. So this is the next number that we're gonna try to figure out. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're gonna do 112.5 times 0.40%. All we're doing is I tell you guys all the time, this is all just big math problem. Okay. So 112.50 times 0.40 is $45. So our cost per lead needs to stay around $45. Now, $45 for a webinar lead, that is very, very normal. I know a lot of you guys are like, holy crap, that's expensive. Yes, that is why I always tell people, because I see people turning off their webinar ads when their CPL is like $7. If you're not reverse engineering and doing the math, you're going to be turning off ads that could otherwise be profitable. And you're going to want to test each ad set at $10 a day to start. And you're going to run until 3 times the CPL. So in this case, I'm going to do 45 times 3, 135 equals 135. So I'm going to run each ad set at $10 a day, and I am not going to touch it until it spends $135. And then my dream target is I want $45 per lead. Now, there are ways to optimize that, but now look at this. We have numbers. We are guided by, once we launch this campaign, we are going to know what our target CPL is. We're going to know how much we need to spend until we need to turn the ad off. Okay. A lot of you guys are turning off ads way too early. A lot of you guys would turn this off at $70, and that's not even 3x the CPL. You could end up getting 2 leads once you spend $135, because remember, Facebook takes time to optimize. So we want to make sure that we're spending 3 times your cost per lead per ad set. And we want to make sure that we're spending at least if you have a $10,000 offer, we want to spend $10,000, because you might make that sale at $9,950 and still be profitable. This is just testing. Now, these are just test numbers. These numbers are going to get better. That's why we optimize. But we cannot go into this ad campaign with unrealistic expectations of what we need to happen. Too many of you guys are doing that. So I hope that you guys found this video very valuable. Like I said, this is what works for me and my clients. I hope that this video serves you so that you can run profitable ad campaigns that have a realistic expectation of when you should be turning them off, what your cost per lead should be, what percentage of people should be watching the webinar. Now, this applies to VSLs. This applies to low ticket offers. There's slightly different ways to do it, but you could see how I reverse engineered every part of the funnel. So if you guys liked this video, give me some love below. Leave me a comment. The algorithm loves it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.